What's up, action takers? We've got Robert Peterson in the house today. He's the founder of Add Value to Life Coaching and helps business owners like you transform from working like an employee to being the CEO. Robert, thrilled to have you in the booth today. And I got to know, brother, what's new? What's fresh? How are you using AI and automation to grow your business?
Well, I mean, it's been pretty crazy. So I wrote my first book in December of 21 and used AI at that time to do the outline and do some of the main, ideas. And it really was just a reinforcement tool. But today we're using AI to create our websites, to create our sales page, to create our emails. And the prompts are just getting so much stronger and so much better. And now we're actually in Jasper, which is the program that we've been using for the last 3 years. It actually has a prompt improvement. So I can write, create a sales email that says, talks about this product. And then I can hit enhance prompt and it changes the prompt to act like a marketer working in business websites. And it adds all these things to the prompt. And then you hit enter and it just creates this incredible, and then I can actually program it to speak in my language. And so it can actually go to my website and capture my language on my website and start speaking the way that I speak. And it's utterly amazing. It blows my mind.
Yo, are you interested in business ownership? For many entrepreneurs, the journey starts with non-food franchising. Franchising is simply the better option for many entrepreneurs, and demand is at an all-time high. Lucky for you, John Austinson, founder of Franbridge Consulting, is here to help you today. John and his Franbridge Consulting team are part of the largest brokerage in the US and are constantly vetting the market thoroughly. Franbridge is hands down the premier source for the best opportunities in the non-food franchising world. They will find the best business for you, your personality, and your location, from healthcare to dumpsters, from youth soccer to oil changes, even insulation and windows. And the best part, it's 100% fee-free, no additional costs to you. You may have heard John on Entrepreneurs on Fire. He has served as an Inc. 500 franchisor, a multi-brand franchisee, and in fact, he's one of the top 1% consultants nationwide. Listen, sign up for a free consultation with the CEO, John, today, not his assistant, not his sales team. Sign up for free with John today at franbridgeconsulting.com. That's franbridgeconsulting.com. And guess what? He's even going to send you a copy of his book for free, Non-Food Franchising. For free book. You got to love it. So go to franbridgeconsulting.com right now. All right, let's get into the episode. Yeah, we were just in a masterclass in the After Hours Entrepreneur Mastermind group, and we were talking about just that, training your AI to speak in your voice, not the voice of a robot, in your voice. And one of the things that we talked about doing was just taking your podcast, video, getting the transcription, uploading the transcription to ChatGPT specifically is what we're referring to, and training it to speak in your voice in your chat, right? Because in ChatGPT, you can have a bunch of different chats. So you're using Jasper. Jasper is one of your favorite tools. Jasper's been out a while. So, and quite frankly, I've tried Jasper before. I didn't like it. I thought it was complicated. It was kind of trashy. I didn't like it. Why should I go back and start using Jasper again today?
Well, I tell you that the improvements they've made, the things that they've done, and right now there's still a big argument, right? Because Jasper is significantly more expensive than ChatGPT, and so there is a price differential, but its ability to enhance prompts and take prompts to another level is just incredible. And it's still using GPT-3 in some areas because GPT-4 isn't working as well in some of those areas. But they've added the chat feature, so Jasper Chat is working in the exact same model as GPT-4, and really it's pulled in some of the best tools. And Jasper has some of the best templates out there. They've been building templates with built-in prompts. But I just went through a mastermind the other day where we went through the $100 million offer of Alex Hormozi's and take each of those things that they had built. They built prompts for this 2 years ago. And now they've taken those prompts and they put them into the chat and they say, enhance this prompt. And it takes that prompt and adds it all up. And basically they're creating super prompts where you can type in, my business is, aerobic breathing therapy, and plug that in to the prompt and then hit enter, and it creates this entire marketing page based on Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers. And it finds all the problems, finds all the solutions, gives names to all the solutions, all based on creating a super prompt. Just incredible stuff. So here's what I just did yesterday. I was introduced to a video, and the video is a poem, like a Dr. Seuss type poem. And it's basically Chuck in his truck is stuck, and Stan in his van has hired a coach, and he's doing really well. And I thought, oh, this is cute. I'm not a poet. I can't rewrite this poem. And so I went into Jasper and I typed in, basically the idea of this poem. And I said, rewrite this poem about two business owners, one that's stuck, one that's finding success. And it created a 6-stanza poem that rhymes about Tim and Sue. And it was almost, not word for word what Chuck and the truck were, but basically the same idea, that he's stuck. He's doing all the business himself. He's struggling with all the things that business owners struggle with, and doing all the work himself, exchanging dollars for hours. But the other, has hired a coach, and they've got a great plan, and they're delegating, and they're hiring a team, and all in rhyme. And it spit it out in like 30 seconds, dude.
And I'm with you, Robert. It's cool. It's great, but that ain't going to make me any money. One of the things, and one of the reasons I want to bring you on here is because you actually use Jasper and AI, not only to write your first book, but to also ghostwrite books. Talk to me a little bit more about that. How can I use AI to actually write books that people want to read?
Well, I mean, obviously you can use the AI to start from scratch, pick a subject. And so maybe you want to write about, marketing, and now the AI can search Google and it can pull up, the latest marketing trends. And maybe it's even writing a book on AI and marketing. So the first prompt you send is, create an outline for this book. It creates the outline, and then you prompt each chapter, and you can build out each chapter and ghostwrite a book in a matter of hours, chapter by chapter, with the AI. And really, it's the power in AI is figuring out the prompts, right? I think you and I both start to recognize that what garbage in, garbage out has always been from the time I went to high school and did computer class, right? If you put garbage into the computer, you're going to get garbage out. But if you can have the prompt that really speaks to the AI in its language, it's going to give you some great information. And now with the Google search ability that many of them have, you can actually get solid quotes. The quotes that we're getting out are actually out of somebody's book. It's quoting John Maxwell. It's quoting, experts in all these different fields. And I go verify them all, because you can't be putting stuff out there that's you say is a quote and not verify it. And it's 100%. It's accurate. And so it's incredible to me.
I will say I've used AI to do research before, and I agree. I do think you want to double check, because in my experience, it's not 100% accurate.
But it's getting so much better. Like,
no doubt. The other I think interesting thing that I think we need to be aware of, and I just saw a video of this the other day, was there's this college professor who got really ticked off. He got so pissed off at his class because he's like, "You're all using ChatGPT to write your essays. Now, instead of a 10-page article, I want you to write 50 pages. No AI. So here's my question here, Robert. If you're going to use AI to write a book, if you're going to use AI to ghostwrite, what are you doing to try to prevent it from being detected as being written by AI? As of today, I don't think that Google and SEO is impacting us or hurting us. But as more and more people learn about this stuff, that could become a problem. Is that something that you think about when writing books?
I mean, yes, absolutely. So when I did my book, I used the AI a lot just to give myself, it was kind of prompting myself, oh, this would be really good. And then I was rewriting, a larger percentage of it. But it's gotten to the point now where you can take and stick this outputs into AI detectors, and they're they're labeling my own words as AI rather than the AI's words. It's incredible what, I don't know. I think the AI detectors aren't as good as just as the AI is yet. And there's some weirdness in there, right? So maybe it says 75% of this looks like AI and 25% of it looks like it was written by a person. And they've got it completely backwards. Like it's picking up your own words as AI and picking up the rest as a person.
Well, maybe we're in a simulation and you are actually an AI. So maybe you are actually AI, right, Robert?
This is as close as we've come to the Matrix, no doubt. Like you said, your mind was blown just from the work that you just did over this mastermind, but it is mind blowing. It really is. And I think the AI is getting so good. And if you prompt it to communicate like a person, guess what? It communicates like a person. and it really is hard for, computers to detect that it's actually a computer that's writing this. And I think people find that hard to believe, but the truth is it really does work. And I think Google respects good content. And I think readers respect good content. So if you're creating good content, then it doesn't matter if it was AI or if it was Joe, or if you as long as you're creating something that's new and different and it's quality stuff that helps people, that's what Google's going to care about. And that's what people who read books are going to care about.
Probably. But at least level one, I think most people don't want to read, people want to read things that people wrote. I don't know. I have this feeling that at some point, Google, Bing, they're going to start to penalize people that are just leaning too heavily on AI. I don't know what that looks like just yet. We're too early. I do want to give everyone a quick, I want to talk a little bit about part of the problems with having your work being detectable as AI. So AI, when it's generating text, is basically using a predictive word mechanism. It's saying, based on the previous word that you wrote, this is likely the next word, and it expands from there. There are ways to obfuscate that, one of which is just changing every 7 or 8 words with a synonym. So if you're using the word, let's say drove, you might use the word, I don't know, commanded or something, or navigated, right? So changing up syllables. And there is a pretty cool tool that I just learned about. It's called Quillbot, quillbot.com. And what that's going to do is you plug in all of your AI generated text into Quillbot, and it's going to go through and it's going to suggest synonyms for some of the words that have been written in your AI generator, which I thought was a really cool time saver. Haven't got a chance to test it out yet. Y'all can leave in the comments or shoot me an email if you've got thoughts on that. But I just want to share that. I think that was a pretty cool way of scaling up your synonyms and kind of tricking the computers.
So I've never used it, but there are people that are actually adding it to their prompt, talk as Quillbot.
Really?
And using it as one of their prompts to make it sound. And I know there's others out there that are similar, but I'm actually seen people on the Facebook groups mentioning those as an addition to their prompts.
Great minds think alike, Robert. And you go, this stuff is moving so fast that the stuff we're talking about today might be a little bit different next week. So we got to stay in touch. We got to keep learning, got to keep looking at the new stuff. So, Robert, where's the best place we can find you to learn more about what you're doing with Jasper AI and your coaching program?
So addvalue, 2 life.com is my website. And then addvalue, 2 entrepreneurs is my podcast. And love talking to entrepreneurs like yourself and have great conversations about what's working and where they're struggling.
100%. We do not care about what worked 10 years ago. We worry about what's going to work over the next 10 years. It's a very transformative time. Robert, thanks for joining the After Hours Entrepreneur and sharing a hot take, baby. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, Mark. Thanks for having me.